Round one is in the books for both the candidates. Senator Markey defended his record, while Congressman Kennedy tried to make the case for new leadership. Senator Ed Markey and Congressman Joe Kennedy III squaring off in a civil Democratic primary debate. Congressman Kennedy says he would bring new leadership to the job and took a swipe at Senator Markey for his vote on the Iraq War.
And he voted for it without a sunset provision to say at a certain point you got to come back and justify it.
Judge Bush lied. Donald Rumsfeld lied to the American people. I regret that vote. It was a mistake.
Senator Markey went on to tout his record on gun reform legislation, batting back Kennedy's criticism.
Congress has not, the federal government has not passed meaningful gun violence legislation in decades.
That's just not accurate. The last meaningful gun safety legislation passed in the last week of December of 2019, when my bill was actually signed by Donald Trump.
The two also clashed over Senator Markey's 2013 vote of present on a resolution that would have authorized President Obama to use military force in Syria.
There was a rush to judgment. There was an attempt to have a vote that was forced without complete information.
The senator voted present. Not no, not yes, on a matter of war and peace, but present.
And the primary is 7 months away. For On the Record, I'm Sharmin Sacchetti.
All right, Sharma, thank you. It's time for the Sunday Roundtable, and we're joined this morning by Democratic political analyst Marianne Marsh and former Republican State Senator Vinny DiMacedo, who is now the Director of Regional Partnerships at Bridgewater State University. Guys, let me just ask you, who won that debate? Marianne, let me start with you.
Well, Kennedy went in the front runner. He comes out the front runner because Markey didn't do anything to change the dynamic of that race. By all public polling, he's still double digits down. He didn't change the race that night, so Joe Kennedy's still up.
Vinny, how'd you read it?
I basically thought it was a draw. I think, obviously the strength that Markey has is the Green New Deal and his partnership with Ocasio-Cortez. And so from my perspective, it was really a draw. There was no fireworks. It was, other than that one question in regards to the president vote, I think that was probably a shot at Markey. Short of that, I just felt it was a draw.
Okay. Who won the Senate debate? It was far more raucous, nasty, desperate, and oh so entertaining, wasn't it? It was the next night. They pounced away at debate newcomer Michael Bloomberg on non-disclosure agreements, and Elizabeth Warren led the attacks minutes into the debate. Let's take a listen.
So, Mr. Mayor, are you willing to release all of those women from those non-disclosure agreements so we can hear their side of the story?
It's easy. All the mayor has to do is say, you are released from the non-disclosure agreement, period.
So, two questions. Who won the debate, Vinny? And will non-disclosure agreements be sort of like the political Achilles heel for Bloomberg down the road, especially when he gets in at Super Tuesday?
On the second question, absolutely, that's going to be devastating for him. Just not even being able to answer that is clearly an Achilles heel. But the reality is his war chest or his personal finances are bigger than his ego, so he's going to be able to go the distance. So my gut is I think he goes the distance. On the question who won,
right? I
think Donald Trump won. I have never seen a more vicious debate than in my 20 some odd years in politics. The reality is clearly nobody's teaming up with anybody. This could be what a lot of people expected is a contested convention, which is just frankly, who thought of it? But that's going to be ugly if that's the case. And I hear Republicans and Democrats that are really worried about that.
Marianne, I know you disagree with Vinny.
Yeah, there's no question Elizabeth Warren won the debate this week. She was not going to be denied. She was going to be heard. And she used not only Bloomberg, but almost everybody else on that stage as her foil that night. And she showed everybody that she's the one who's better suited to take on Donald Trump than anyone on that stage, including Mike Bloomberg, who she's the one who revealed the real Mike Bloomberg to the world, and then he added to it and made the case for her by his pitiful performance.
So
non-disclosure agreements, you think that's going to follow him?
Follow him. That's just one of a bunch of problems he had. Non-disclosures, his treatment of women, his treatment of people of color. He couldn't answer any of those questions because there's no good answer for them. So basically, the $400 million he spent in advertising was false advertising. I don't care how many ads they play now. The people saw the real Mike Bloomberg. It's not the guy in the ads, and that was devastating.
So let me ask you, who's the real Elizabeth Warren? The one who showed up in Nevada or the one who did not perform well in New Hampshire?
Right. So we talked last week about the strategy. We saw the real Elizabeth Warren in the debate this week, which is the one that we saw when she announced a year ago that ended up as the front runner. For some reason, in the Iowa and New Hampshire, they had a different strategy, and it hurt them badly. They've always had an organization. That's not enough to win. This Elizabeth Warren is back in this race, and she can really become the progressive capitalist alternative to Bernie Sanders going into Super Tuesday.
Did it launch her back in the race, Vinny?
There's no question about it. She was definitely strong yesterday, on Sunday. Forgive me. She was strong, and she did a great job in regards to that. And so it was clearly, she was falling off. She was in 5th place, 6th place, and now all of a sudden she's back in the top 3.
So meanwhile, here in Massachusetts, the Warren campaign is having some of her highest profile circuits, like Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley, working in the home state. Is it possible Warren could lose the Bay State, do you think, Vinny?
After last night's debate, I think she's put it back in. So my gut is she's got a much stronger chance than she did before.
Vinny? Marianne, sorry.
She's not going to take Massachusetts for granted because Bernie Sanders, Pete Buttigieg, and Michael Bloomberg are playing hard here with a lot of money. There are 14 delegates up. It's Super Tuesday. Everybody needs those delegates to cut into Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg's lead. She wants them badly.
I know that I would like to ask you this because Jake Auchincloss was on our show. Marianne, let me start with you. There's the Congressional, Joe Kennedy's Congressional seats available. What did you make of our guest this morning?
Look, I think Jesse Mermel, still of all the people we've had on, is the one who did the best, but Jake Auchincloss certainly acquitted himself well today. He handled it well. He has a good story to tell. He was very detailed, and anyone who is that confident going into the pop quiz and then going 4-0, you got to be impressed.
But Vinny, it really is a diverse district, isn't it? I mean, when you go from Newton to you're spanning the state when you go through there.
Absolutely, but the reality is that everyone's running is coming from Newton, Brookline. So that whole southern part of the state is actually up for grabs by them. Had there been someone strong in the southern part, I think that would have been a different story. But I thought he did a great job. The fact that he went 4 for 4 was pretty impressive. I got to give him that.
And he had a lot of courage when he got into those.
And I was only 2 for 4 on those, so I was pretty impressed.
So does that make him an early candidate for Rookie of the Year? That's what I want.
We shall see.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.